All right, I hope everybody's having or had a happy Thanksgiving for those of us that celebrate it. For me, I think it's going to be a fish giving. Going to make sockeye salmon, carrots, and peas. Kind of sick of turkey, and I figure if I have a healthy meal like that, and the doctor happens to see the video, she'll like it and give me a thumbs up. I don't eat healthy too often, but I try. So thought I would do this video on importing your own guppies or the process thereof, in case other people want to try it. Now these are the fry from some of the 6 or 7 or 8 strains I've imported in the last year, and I don't import them to sell them. There are people that do that. Nothing wrong with that. And I'm sure they make a nice living and get to see some super nice fish. But I was just going to talk about what's involved with it for the average breeder, hobbyist, like myself, and just go over the things I've learned in the last few years of importing guppies directly from the breeders. Now these are kind of obviously the tiger king cobras. I have a couple of young males in there. These males are just about 4 months old. Females are older, they're 5 months old. I wanted to set up breeders, and I picked females that had more splotches, because like I said before, I believe it transfers onto the male fry, and I really like this high dorsal female, so I selected 3 of them out of the group. I have a bunch of them. I'll show some more that are growing out. And so anyway, to get to the point, and I wrote down some of the stuff so I can read from it. So here we go. Years ago, it was pretty much impossible for an individual like myself or like somebody else to import fish from an overseas seller. And with the emergence of the internet in recent years, it's really easy now and much more affordable than it was. Basically, years ago, you had to either travel to the country and find a way to buy the fish and send them back, which may or may not have been legal back then. But nowadays, you can just buy fish right from someone that's selling them as a breeder, or you can buy them from a wholesaler, an online store, or a hobbyist that is imported from a breeder overseas. The other person in that case has already done all of the footwork, which is really a plus. And they may not get the higher grade fish because they're doing it to make money. I'm doing it because I want to breed the nicest fish I can breed. So I tend to buy directly from one of the few overseas breeders that has higher quality fish, and you know that because you're paying for it. So like I said, these are breeders, and these are a young batch growing out. I try to back out a little bit so you can see them. Okay, now you can see that the females develop the splotches or tiger stripes early. The males, it takes a little bit longer. Like this one's got it pretty much going on, and by this one I mean the one whose face is in all the dirt. And you can see that one's really got a ton of splotches. And I'm gonna have to see what she ends up looking like. Same with this one, because I don't want to freak this line out. It's really a beautiful line of fish, and just one of the many I've gotten from overseas. So these are ones I'm growing out to sell, and there's been so many requests that I'm probably going to list them online, because I don't want to just start going through some people and not getting to others, and I may have lost contacts of people that contacted me first, because I'm scatterminded sometimes. So anyhow, while you look at these fish, I'll get back to the deal there. So the higher grade of the strains are more money, and you can really spend a ton on guppies. Now the ones I'll show in a few minutes are they're like the Supreme High Dorsal something or others from ATFG. They're the Real Red Albino, which overseas is abbreviated as RREA. And they were a lot. I paid $100 a trio, plus shipping from the transshipper, which I'll get to. So the higher grade will really have better colors and will breed probably truer than the lesser grade ones, because that's kind of what ends up happening is they kind of monkey with the strain, the people that get them from the original people that get the strain set. So now these I haven't really showed before. These are the Silverado Reds, or I was calling them 3/4 Reds Platinum, and for some reason they're hiding behind a plant, which is not good for a video. So let's see if we can get them out. There's the plant. There we go. Now these are just developing. They got the nice, really like they're a half red, and the front part of the body is a platinum. So I have some ideas for some crosses I'm going to do with these. Now this is the first batch that grew out, so these are 4 months old right now, and so far so good. They breed true. A couple of them seem to have more of like a darker front, a little darker than almost like a metalhead. Now that could change. They could all develop that. Like I said, these are young and they develop over a little more time. So back to what I was talking about to try to make some sense. Anyway, there are breeders overseas that work as a consortium, basically. There'd be a bunch of guys that breed fish in their garage, house, backyard, because the weather in Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, Taiwan is pretty fantastic year-round. And they usually get like a spokesman that'll be a lot better at English, for one thing, photography, and marketing the fish. Now they usually sell them a few different ways. You can find some with web pages more or less on Facebook. You can also find auctions on eBay, Aquabid, or some other online fish sites, and these are the only two I know of because I don't pay much attention to anything anymore. I stick with what works. And you'll notice that their pictures are incredible, absolutely incredible, and that's because whoever's doing the photography is using the macro setting and just truly talented. So like with cars, someone will buy the better grade of these strains and kind of reverse engineer them, and that's kind of how a lower grade is created. They might cross in a different female because maybe the one they initially got didn't make it, or they just want to get some different genes into it without screwing things up. So you may end up getting something that's kind of been diluted a little bit, meaning it's going to throw some different looking fish, not pure like these have been throwing. I don't get anything out of these but what you're saying. There's been a few with a lighter color tail, but it gets the mosaic pattern, gets the tiger stripes, gets the amazing snakeskin pattern. So that's what I wanted, and that's why I spent a lot of money to get this stuff. So basically you're going to get carbon copies of the parents, and that's what you want, I assume. So I've bought fish over the years that I've bred, and I've resold the young after they mature. The quality of the guppies from Taiwan, in my opinion, not stating a fact, I'm just saying in my opinion and others I've spoken with, seem to be the best grade. And a lot of times that's where the strain originated. So Thailand seems to be the next highest grade, and that's where I've been buying them from, because I don't know anybody in Taiwan that'll sell to me, or any other people in America. That's kind of the problem. So people in Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam can get them, but they may not get the highest grade of them, because they're not going to be spending that kind of money. Not that the countries are depressed, but they're not crazy. They're probably married guys, and if they spend that much money on a fish trio, their wife will kill them. Feed them to the gators outside or whatever they have outside. So next I would say is Indonesia, which is excellent, and now Vietnam and also the Philippines have guppy breeders. So I'll get into more of it and show some different fish in case you're bored looking at these. So hang in there and I'll be right back.